And good morning. Welcome into another edition of Mortgage Talk with Michael Giacomino. Every week at the same time, Michael, a senior loan officer for First Centennial Mortgage, as we address the common concerns and questions about financing options for purchasing or refinancing a home. Visit OswegoHomeLoans.com to learn more. And Michael joins us via the phone lines once again this morning. Michael, how are we today?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you?
Doing pretty good, as we're looking forward to another show for today, as we've hit a lot of topics so far. What are we focusing on today's show?
Today we're going to go through a couple bullet points of important economy news and real estate news.
All right, yeah, and that's stuff that's kind of always changing, and you always got to keep on top of things, and that's where you come in. You've got the latest news on an ever-changing landscape with these topics.
Absolutely. Well, as you mentioned, we covered a handful of important topics. We went over the importance of pre-approval, having a pre-approval before you start shopping for that perfect home. We spoke about the mortgage process, what happens to your file through all the different stages. We've also covered the benefits of a refinance, either just rate and term to get a lower interest rate, or maybe to tap in to that equity in your home and do some home improvements or pay down some debt.
Yeah,
we also covered some. Oh, sorry, Mike.
Well, I was going to say too, if people are interested in some of those past topics we've covered, they can hear those shows online, right? Or
yes.
Even through an email, you can contact Michael and get a clip or a segment of those shows.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. Feel free reach out to me direct. My direct line is 630-746-7478. And I could text you or email you a clip of a previous show, or you could jump on my YouTube page, and you could find me as the name of our show. It's Mortgage Talk with Michael Giacomino. And as well, my website, OswegoHomeLoans.com.
All right, sounds good. Lots of ways for folks to get some info. So what about today's topic?
So today, again, to reiterate, I want to go over 3 bullet points of the top news in the economy and top news in the real estate. And then we'll talk about what interest rates look like, what they look like currently. So the economy last week, to point out the 3 most important things that I took from it, everything that's on the news, is private payrolls. They fell by 301,000 in January versus the expected 200,000 gain. That was according to ADP. The drop is blamed on the newest COVID variant spread. The Number 2 is the core personal consumption expenditures price index. So what that all means is it's inflation gauge watched closely by the Fed, and I don't think this would surprise anybody. It rose 4.9% year over year in data from December. And number 3, job openings totaled nearly 11 million in December. It's more than 4.6 million above the total unemployment level, and that was according to the Labor Department. 3 bullet points I took from reading the news last week in housing was, although housing inventory remains very tight, single-family housing starts reached a little over 1.1 million last year. And what's very interesting about this, that's the highest level since 2006. And I'm sure our folks can remember 2006. That's pretty much the height of the housing boom.
Yeah, and that didn't last very long, did it?
No. 2007 is a whole different story.
Yeah. What about newly built homes?
Newly built homes made up of more than 1/3 of the homes for sale in December. And that was the highest share on record, according to Redfin.
All right, and the third point?
Third point is purchase applications were up 4% from last week, while refi applications jumped 18% for the week. Both were still lower than a year ago. Looking inside of my own team, we're seeing the purchase market very, very active, which I have to admit is a little odd for this time of the year, due to seasonality.
All right, so we've got about a minute left on the show. I know you wanted to mention some stuff on interest rates.
Yep, I want to mention interest rates and to touch a 30-year and a 15-year, which are the 2 most popular mortgages, fixed-rate mortgages out there. So a 30-year today is averaging 3.75% and a 4.014 APR, and an average 15-year fixed mortgage rate is 3.125 with an APR of 3.377.
And then there's a Federal Reserve meeting coming up in about a month or so?
Yes. Well, I want everybody to let them know The Federal Reserve Board meeting is next month. It goes March 15th through March 16th. So we'll definitely know something late on the 16th or early on the 17th of what the Feds are going to do. We hear a lot of static out there that they want to raise that prime rate at least 3 times this year. And one thing to take away from that is just a normal consumer like yourself and me and out there and looking at our bills is take a look at your auto loans. That's something I see a lot of people kind of put to the side. They go to the dealer, buy the car, sign the paper, and drive home. And look at your interest rate in your auto loan. And look at your local consumer credit unions or local credit unions, local banks, and see if you can get that down, because as soon as that prime rate goes up, that is jumping up as well.
Well, it's all good advice and good information. It's Mortgage Talk with Michael Giacomino. Michael, a senior loan officer for First Centennial Mortgage, NMLS number 1983164. First Centennial Mortgage, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS 132763. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee number MB0004239. The website again is OswegoHomeLoans.com, and you can reach Michael directly at 630-746-7478. Michael, thanks. We'll see you next week.
Mike, thank you. Have a great day.
You too.